Multiple arrests have been made in connection with the jaw-dropping heist that took place last weekend at the Louvre Museum in Paris, a theft that left the art world and global authorities stunned. French officials confirmed on Sunday that multiple suspects are now in custody, including one man who was intercepted while attempting to flee the country through Charles de Gaulle Airport. The arrest came after an international manhunt and days of coordinated investigation involving French intelligence, border security, and museum security experts. The heist, which occurred in the early morning hours during a scheduled power maintenance window, involved the theft of crown jewels and historic relics valued at more than 88 million euros. Among the missing artifacts were rare tiaras, diamond encrusted ceremonial pieces from the Napoleonic era, and a ruby pendant believed to have belonged to Empress Josephine. These were on temporary display in the museum's Richelieu wing as part of the Royal Regalia of France exhibition. French authorities now say that at least three suspects entered the building through a delivery service entrance while posing as museum contractors. Surveillance footage showed the men dressed in maintenance uniforms, carrying toolboxes and ID badges that matched the Louvre's contractor protocols. Once inside, they bypassed multiple security checkpoints and used a combination of high-powered cutting tools and digital jamming equipment to disable alarms and access the secure cases where the jewels were displayed. Officials believe the entire operation was executed in under 12 minutes, what investigators are calling a coordinated and highly professional job. What makes this heist even more chilling is the suggestion that the suspects had inside knowledge of the Louvre's security systems, including the temporary vulnerabilities caused by the electrical work being done that morning. The Louvre Museum, known worldwide as the home of the Mona Lisa and countless priceless works of art, had not seen a theft of this magnitude in modern history. The last notable art theft at the museum dates back over a century to 1911, when the Mona Lisa itself was stolen and recovered 2 years later. But this latest incident is unprecedented in terms of value, planning, and execution. French Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin called the heist an attack on France's cultural soul and pledged that justice would be swift. He confirmed that law enforcement is now coordinating with Interpol and Europol to trace stolen items and determine whether the theft was intended for black market sale or private collection laundering. The arrest at Charles de Gaulle Airport is being described as the breakthrough moment. A 28-year-old man of dual French and Serbian citizenship was reportedly carrying multiple forged passports and had a boarding pass for a non-extradition country in Eastern Europe. Authorities believe he played a key logistical role in the operation, possibly serving as the tech expert who disabled the Louvre's sensors. In his possession were encrypted flash drives, burner phones, and a partial inventory list that matched the stolen collection. Another suspect was arrested Sunday morning at a flat in Marseille after anti-crime brigades received an anonymous tip. Police found items matching the clothing seen in surveillance footage, along with a map of the Louvre's sub-basement tunnels and a stack of burner phones registered under false names. While the jewels themselves have not yet been recovered, investigators believe they may have already been moved out of France in the hours immediately following the theft. Sources close to the investigation say the working theory is that the heist was commissioned by an underground collector, a wealthy individual willing to pay millions for cultural artifacts that will never be seen again. This has led to renewed debate in the art world about security protocols, digital infrastructure in museums, and the growing threat of elite-funded art crimes. The French Minister of Culture announced that all future special exhibits involving high-value portable artifacts will be subject to additional oversight and government surveillance. A review of National Museum security practices is already underway. Meanwhile, the Louvre Museum remains open, though the Richelieu wing remains cordoned off and under forensic examination. International responses have poured in from institutions like the British Museum, the Uffizi Gallery in Florence, and the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, all expressing solidarity with the Louvre and calling for increased international cooperation against art crime. UNESCO has also issued a statement condemning the theft and urging governments to strengthen cultural property protections. For the public, this is a reminder of the vulnerability of even the most guarded cultural spaces. The fact that such a high-value theft could occur inside the most visited museum in the world has sent shockwaves through both the art community and national security circles. Experts note that high end art thefts are rarely random. They involve intricate planning, insider knowledge, and carefully timed execution, all of which seem to have been present in this case. The broader implications of the Louvre heist go beyond the stolen jewels themselves. It raises serious questions about the global black market for art and artifacts, how pieces are laundered through private collections, and whether international enforcement has kept pace with the sophistication of these crimes. Lawmakers in France and the EU are now calling for stricter border inspections of outbound cargo, mandatory electronic tagging of museum loans, and higher penalties for anyone caught trafficking cultural property. Meanwhile, the arrested suspects are being held without bail and are expected to be charged under France's most serious anti theft and organized crime statutes. If convicted, they face sentences ranging from 15 to 25 years. Authorities say more arrests are likely in the coming days as digital evidence is processed and additional leads are pursued. The Louvre heist, now being dubbed the crown job by French media, has already sparked interest from filmmakers and true crime followers. But for historians, curators, and everyday citizens, it's a heartbreaking moment of loss, a reminder of the fragility of heritage in a world that still finds ways to steal the past. We follow breaking news, so follow us and subscribe to stay current.